Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, I have gone through few books and listened to few topics of the seerah from different ulama across the globe. And the one that I found that caught me as much as anything else was the one, it was just like a flowing story, rather than just the benefits only. And this is why I felt that whatever I felt then, I will try inshallah to pass it on to you, because I felt that I was living with the Prophet and the Sahaba. Hence, the love of the Prophet has stuck in my heart more. Before we start on the Prophet ﷺ, we can start all the way back to our forefather, Ibrahim and his son Ismail. When Allah has ordered Ibrahim to take his little baby, just newborn, and his wife, to take them to a place where there was no crops, just desert. And Sayyidina Ibrahim just obeyed, alayhi salam. He never argued with Allah, never asked any question, he just obeyed. He went, dropped them on the spot Allah ordered him, and turned back and walked. Sayyidina Hajar followed him. Where are you going? He didn't turn back. Why are you leaving us? He didn't answer. After some time, she realized something is not right, so she asked him, Allahu amaraka bihada? Did Allah order you to do this? He said, yes. He said, so He will not make us waste. She had the iman and the faith of the mu'minah. Sayyidina Ibrahim left. They had food, a bit of water, all gone. Baby crying. Sayyida Hajar start going up onto Safa to look across the desert. Is there anything that you can see, any water, anybody coming? Nothing. Ran down, climbed onto Al-Marwa. Anybody still turning and looking? Nothing happening. Back again to Safa. 7 times. And you can see how our religion is linked to that moment. This is what we do in Hajj and Umrah. We do Tawaf and Sa'i. And the Sa'i is an action that was done by a woman. But Allah has raised that status of this woman that every single Muslim has to do it once in their lifetime. And this is Sayyida Hajar. As she reached the 7th time to Marwa, she heard a noise next to her son. So she ran there to see him. And all she could find is a bit of water flowing. By that time, Sayyidina Jibreel was down. He just knocked the earth with the edge of a wing of his wings. And water flowed out. Bi'ithnillah. It came with the will of Allah. And as water was flowing, Sayyida Hajar tried to collect it and say, Zum, Zum, means collect yourself, don't flow out. She wanted to control that water. Hence the name, Zamzam. Everything comes, pieces together, subhanallah. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Rahimallahu ummana Hajar. May Allah give rahmah to our mother Hajar. If she left it, it would have been a river flowing across the Arab desert. But she was afraid, she didn't want that water to get lost. She wanted the water for her son. Subhanallah. Then, at that time, the origin of the Arabs was Yemen. Yemen had a big dam called Saddu Ma'rib, the dam of Ma'rib. On this time, that dam was cracked, destroyed, and Yemen was flooded. So Yemenis tribes started flowing across the desert to find places for themselves. And a tribe called Jurhum were passing by. And they saw birds flying over. They said, SubhanAllah, these birds have something. Is it a dead body? Or is there really water? So they sent someone to check, and there is water. So we never knew there is water in that area. But the Arabs had good attitude and behavior. They went, they saw a woman with a child next to that water. So they asked Sayyidah Hajar politely, would you allow us to live around this water with you, and we will pay you rent to survive with your son? And within hours, Allah has provided Sayyidah Hajar and Ismail with water, and now money, and a population. This is the Iman. If you believe, it will come to you. Inshallah, we all believe because we have signs from before us. When Sad Ma'rib was destroyed, there were different tribes that went around. Thaqif went to At-Taif. To Ash-Sham, which is the Syria and the area, went Bani Ghassan al-Ghasasina. And to Iraq, al-Manazira. And Jurhum stayed in Mecca. These were the tribes. And Sayyidina Ismail, from then, he grew up with the Arabs. Hence he learned the Arabic language, because Sayyidina Ibrahim was never an Arab. He was from Kurdistan, up in Iraq, Nino, in that area. And he moved down to Palestine, and they were still talking different language. So Sayyidina Ismail learned the Arabic in there. And this is why his descendants are called Al-Arab Al-Musta'ariba, the ones that have learned the Arabic, they're not the original Arabs. And the Prophet ﷺ is one of those. So Sayyidina Ismail, when he grew older, and we know the story from the Quran, فَلَمَّا بَلَغَ مَعَهُ السَّعْيَ, when he grew older, Allah ordered Sayyidina Ibrahim to slaughter him. And this is Surah As-Saffat, which is chapter 37, ayah 102. فَلَمَّا بَلَغَ مَعَهُ السَّعْيَ قَالَ يَا بُنَيَّ إِنِّي أَرَى فِي الْمَنَامِ أَنِّي أَذْبَحُكَ فَانظُرْ مَاذَا تَرَى. Sayyidina Ibrahim went to his son, he said, "O son, I see in my dreams that I am slaughtering you. So see what you want to do." Sayyidina Ibrahim wanted to give his son part of the ajr. Otherwise he could have just said, okay, while he's sleeping, do it for the sake of Allah. But he wanted his child to be joined in the ajr. And this is the attitude of Muslims in general. They want their children as well to grow with learning how to gain rewards and ajr. So Sayyidina Ismail, who is the son of his father, subhanallah, who is a Nabi and Rasul as well, which is clear in Surah Maryam, he just said, "Ya abati fa'al ma tu'mar." قال يا أبت فعل ما تؤمر ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصابرين. "O father, do what you've been ordered to. Insha'Allah, you will find me patient," or one of the patient people. He didn't say, "Yes, I will be patient." He said, "Insha'Allah, I will be patient." So we know the story again. He started the cutting, and the knife suddenly lost the effect of cutting. It was a sharp knife. Cut, and Ismail said, "Oh father, cut hard." I said, "I am." But Allah revealed that said, "You have believed and that what you saw was true." وَفَدَيْنَاهُ بِذَبْحٍ عَظِيمٍ. Got this lamb or sheep and it was slaughtered in his place. And now we know again part of the Hajj, al-Hadi. It's all back to the sunnah of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And this is why I felt that the story here is more linked to Islam than just starting from the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After this, Allah ordered Ibrahim to build the Kaaba. The Kaaba was not there yet. People knew that this is the site, or some of them knew that this is the site of Baytullah al-Haram, because it was built long time ago in the days of Sayyidina Adam, and then it was destroyed and disappeared. And Allah ordered Sayyidina Ibrahim to rebuild it. And it's clear in Surah Al-Hajj, which is chapter 22, ayah 26, وَإِذْ بَوَّأْنَا لِإِبْرَاهِيمَ مَكَانَ الْبَيْتِ أَلَّا تُشْرِكْ بِي شَيْئًا وَطَهِّرْ بَيْتِيَ لِلطَّائِفِينَ وَالْقَائِمِينَ وَالرُّكَّعِ السُّجُودِ. We showed Ibrahim the place and the site of Kaaba. And we asked him, don't make shirk, and purify this house for people who are coming for tawaf and make ruku' and sujood, which is the prayer. And again, Surah Al-Baqarah, which is chapter 2, verse 127, وَإِذْ يَرْفَعُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ الْقَوَاعِدَ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Ibrahim was raising the foundation of Kaaba, of the house of Allah, with Ismail. And they were praying, "O Allah, accept from us. You are the one all hearing, all knowing." Once they built the house, Sayyidina Ibrahim, every time he used to go there, he had a little stone on the side. He would go and stand on it and look far. Is it level? Is it not level? And from standing so long and repetitive standing, his foot has left a print on that stone. And we can see that footprint now on Maqam Ibrahim when we go there. And once they finished that building, there was a stone they needed for the corner to hold it, to get it stronger. So Sayyidina Ibrahim asks Ismail, "Go and find me a stone to go in this corner. I want to stabilize that house." Sayyidina Ismail went, looked around, didn't find anything. He came back and he found his father just putting a stone in that place. He said, "Where did you get this, Dad?" He said, "Allah sent it to us." And what we know of the Hajar al-Aswad now, through the history, is it used to be white, and it's a stone from Jannah, but it has turned black from the sins of the human beings. Wallahu a'lam, this is what has come to us. And we know that it does not harm, it has nothing to do with us, it's just a stone from Jannah. And Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu was clear to the Muslims after the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he was passing doing tawaf, he said it loudly. He said, "Wallahi, I know you are a stone, you do not harm, and do not do any benefit to anyone. And if it wasn't that I saw the Prophet ﷺ kissing you, I would not have kissed you." So he was following the sunnah of the Prophet in the kissing, not because it has any specific powers. And then once the building was done, Allah ordered Ibrahim another order, which is in Surah Al-Hajj, again, chapter 22, in verse 27. وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَأْتُوكَ رِجَالًا وَعَلَى كُلِّ ضَامِرٍ يَأْتِينَ مِنْ كُلِّ فَجٍّ عَمِيقٍ. Now, Ibrahim, you built it, go and call people to come for Hajj. They will come walking and on camels. They will come from everywhere from the earth. Sayyidina Ibrahim said, "Oh Allah, what will my voice do?" Allah told him, "You call, and it's my duty to get your voice to reach people. It's my job. Just do as you're ordered in this one." So Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam went to Jabal Arafah. Hence Arafah, Al-Hajj Arafah. And he made the call to the adhan from Mount of Arafah. And Allah put the love of Kaaba in the hearts of humanity then. And his voice did reach whatever Allah wanted to reach. And then suddenly you see people coming to worship around the Kaaba. From, we don't know, Allah made it happen. So throughout the life of Sayyidina Ismail, Ibrahim, miracle after miracle after miracle, just to set up the foundation for the Islam. And all the Anbiya came with Islam. But the religion has kept changing and changing. And all the Anbiya in the Quran say, "Inni min al-Muslimin." Sayyidina Musa never said, "I'm Yahudi." Sayyidina Isa didn't say, "I'm the Messiah." They all said, "Innana Muslimun." We are Muslims. Then Jurhum was living with Sayyidina Ismail, Sayyidina Hajar living with amongst them. And after a while, suddenly a tribe called Khuza'a decided to come and fight Jurhum to take control of Mecca. Mecca, of course, the pride of the Arabs now. There's the holy Kaaba, there's water of Zamzam, everybody comes to it, money flowing into it. So Jurhum, Khuza'a decided we won't take over. Jurhum, of course, within that fight, felt that it's going to be losing, so they destroyed and buried Zamzam. The well has its edges as they built it. They destroyed it and buried Zamzam. When Khuza'a won, they came around. Where is Zamzam? They could not find it. Zamzam disappeared. Then Khuza'a controlled Mecca for about 300 to 500 years. There is differences in history. And after a few years, a man led them, and the importance of this man is going to come, inshaAllah, Amr ibn Luhay. Amr ibn Luhay used to be the leader of Khuza'a then, someone who has lots of money, very wealthy, powerful, loved by everybody for his generosity, because they were there for years. They were donating everything to the Hajj. Everybody who was coming for Hajj, then their Hajj, they would supply everything. So he was loved to the degree that whatever he said to the population around him, it became a must or a holy word to them. He says, sleep, they will sleep. Run, he will run. He would do anything, they would just obey him. One day he went to the borders of Syria. There was a tribe called Al-Amaliq, because they were giants. While he was visiting them, he noticed that they're just worshipping stones, different statues, shapes. And he asked them, what are these? He said, they just give us water, give us food, give us whatever we ask for. وَيُقَرِّبُونَ إِلَى اللَّهِ زُلْفًا, and they get us closer to Allah. He just said, that's a really good idea. We need water in Mecca. And he said, we need water in Mecca. What shall I do? He said, well, take one of our gods. He's the god of water. He said, that's a good idea. So Amr ibn Luhay was the first one to introduce idol worshipping to Mecca. And he was the one who had the first idol called Hubal. That was their god for water, Hubal. And we can, through the seerah, we know that the Mushrikeen used to call upon Hubal. He ordered the people of Mecca that they have to worship this god so they can have water for the Hajj and for themselves. Of course, as he was their leader, no one questioned it. Okay, well, he became a god through to God. Astaghfirullah. After a while, he started saying, hang on, we have too many tribes coming to Mecca. Every tribe must have a god for its own, so they can worship. And they should get one of their gods and put it next to the Kaaba. So when they do tawaf, they do tawaf to their god as well. And they started that. And then you have different tribes having different statues, like Tai, who were living around the southern part of Syria. They had Yaghuth, and Bani Hudayl had Suwa', and Bani Kalb had wood. And we have, these are some of their measures. And then you have Hubal for Quraysh, and Nasr al-Yaman, and Ya'uq for Hamadan, which are all different tribes in the peninsula. And the worst of their gods were two statues called Isaf wa Na'ila. These were two humans who used to live in Yemen, and they loved each other, but their parents would not allow them to marry. Difficulty, problem, or no, they're not allowed. Subhanallah, love. But astaghfirullah azim, these two, once they went to Kaaba with Hajj, with big tribes, where people were busy doing tawaf, prayer, whatever, they committed zina next to the Kaaba. Astaghfirullah azim. Within seconds, they were turned into stone. That's documented in the seerah. As clear, a sign from Allah. They were left there for people to learn a lesson. But as everything else, statues with time turn into different meaning. After years and years and hundreds of years, people forgot what they were, and suddenly they were taken At the beginning they were on Safa and Marwa as signs for people to know what they have done, committed as sin, and then they were brought down, put next to the other idols, next to the Kaaba to be worshipped. Because people forgot what they were. And then Amr ibn Luhay, he decided on them, said, every tribe has to worship a god, but not enough that. When they come to Mecca, they have to buy a stone from Mecca. So when they leave Mecca, they worship that stone. So it must be bought from Mecca suddenly. Trade. Anything for money. And people had to obey. Anybody who comes to Mecca, you have to be in Mecca, otherwise there's nothing. Then he said, if you want to worship and you can't find a stone, you have to create something. And you must worship towards something, an idol. To the degree that we know from Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, sometimes the Sahaba used to see him sitting on his own, suddenly he would be smiling and laughing, and suddenly he cries. And once one man just was brave enough to ask him. We know Sayyidina Umar was very tough, didn't like people interfering on him. So he said, what is with this laughter, smile and then cry? He said, well, I remember in Jahiliyyah, in my Jahiliyyah, may Allah forgive us all for our Jahiliyyah. I used to have to worship a stone, a god. Once I was in a travel and I forgot my god. I left it back in Mecca. So I looked around, what should I do? There's nothing to worship. So I found dates. I made a little statue with the dates and started worshipping and praying and carried on travel. Then I felt hungry. So I took my god and I ate it. SubhanAllah. And he remembered that and he would laugh. As for the cry, he said again in Jahiliyyah, we used to hate to having girls as children. And I had a girl. And I kept biting on my teeth and ignoring it until she was 6. And I couldn't tolerate it anymore. So I dug a grave, put her in the grave and started throwing dust on her to bury her. And as I was doing that, she was cleaning my beard from the dust. Look at the softness of a child. Doesn't want her father to be getting dust on his face. And the hard heart when Allah put stone in your heart and He buried her until she died. Hence him crying. So they must worship no matter what happens. So everyone has their own. Then what Amr ibn Luhay did on top, he changed the talbiyah. Because from the day of Ibrahim, they go to Hajj, لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. Amr ibn Luhay said, you must add now, إلا شريك هو لك, except one partner, but you own him. تملكه وما ملك, you own him and whatever he owns. So, but he started making with the talbiyah that you have a sharik, there is someone with him. And of course everybody has to obey. He is the leader, he decided, he introduced their God, they must listen to him. The Prophet ﷺ said in Sahih Muslim, رأيت عمرو بن لحي في النار يجر أمعاءه أول من بدل دين العرب. I saw Amr ibn Luhay in hellfire, dragging his guts behind him. He is the first person who changed the religion of the Arabs. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Then he brought to them again the camels that you should not ride, and others that should not slaughter, and others that should not touch anymore. And that's why so in the Quran there's Al-Hani, Wal-Sa'iba, Wal-Bahira. These are the camels. Like Al-Hani is a camel that had 10 male camels. And suddenly you should not ride them. They protected their backs by having 10 male camels. Shaitan, subhanAllah, when he comes to a human and starts creating something in their minds, where did he come up with this? Allahu Alam, subhanAllah, how Shaitan gets into it. And again, the Arabs of that time, they would follow him. Now I'm going to touch briefly on Yemen, because Yemen was the source of, subhanAllah, the Arabs coming out, and then it's going to be the source of irritation to the Arabs afterwards, and the Muslims. In Yemen, the leader there is called Tubba, like we say Caesar for the Romans, Kisra for the Persians, and there was a Najashi for Africa. In Yemen, their king used to be called Tubba. So once their leader was Rabi' Abdul Nasr, he saw in a dream that his kingdom is going to be destroyed. So he went to the fortune tellers, A'udhu Billah, and started asking, and they said, well, it's 50 to 60 years, your rule will disappear. You will not be, as your family, ruling Yemen anymore. So he was scared, so he took his family and moved partly to Iraq with Al-Manazira. And Nu'man al-Munzir was one of their big leaders there for Manazira. And he left his son to rule, to carry on in Yemen. His son there, he was called Tabban As'ad, called Tubba again, of course, as the leader. He was a great leader, loved by everybody. He decided one day, okay, I have traveled to Syria, part of the, travel to get there, to go the trade. And on his way, he left his son in Yathrib, which is called now Al-Madinah Al-Munawwara. That goes to be Yathrib. That's the name for it beforehand. While he was there, his son had a fight with people, some Jews there. The Jews were living in Medina, in Yathrib, from a while before they moved down south, and they killed his son. So he made an oath that he will not return to Yemen until he sought revenge to his son. He called the troops, they came up from Yemen and surrounded Yathrib. Every morning they would fight, during the day fight. At night they separate. But he was shocked. As soon as they stopped the fight, the people of Medina, which we know, subhanAllah, up to date, they are the most generous and soft people. They used to come out with food, with water, with drinks, to the opposition and give them food and everything and sit with them, say, you're tired from the whole day fight, this is food for you, that's water. And he was surprised, what type of personality and attitude is that? We're fighting you, I want to kill you guys. So he asked, why are you so good? And then two of their rabbis came and said, because we are Jews and we must warn you that wallahi no one has tried to come and destroy this place except Allah destroyed him. This is Mahjaru Nabi. In our Torah, this city is a place where a prophet will be migrating to. You cannot destroy this place. So he said, what shall I do then? He said, do as we do, just respect it and leave it and go to Mecca and worship in Mecca. What shall I worship? They introduced him to Judaism. He learned how to be Jew. He went to Mecca and they said, what shall I do? They taught him do tawaf like everybody else. And he said, why don't you do tawaf then? He said, we are religious people. If there were no idols around it, we would have done it, but there are idols. So even the Jews then knew idol worshipping, and they knew about the Prophet ﷺ coming. So he did tawaf, he respected that area, and while he was there, he had a dream that you must put kiswa on the Kaaba. The Kaaba used to be just a house from mud. So he ordered to get a big cloth from wool and put the first cover on the Kaaba. So he was the first one who introduced al-kiswa from a dream. Then he dreamt that, no, you're putting something better than wool. So he ordered, and they made kiswa from softer material, cotton. And he put it on. And after that, the Arabs kept on putting every year a new kiswa. But they used to put one on top of the other, not removing the old one. And with the rain, with the time, the Kaaba everything was heavy on it, so it was about to shake. And this is when we know that al-Mushrikeen, in the days of the Prophet, decided to rebuild the Kaaba because it was about to fall from the weight of everything on it. Ban As'ad took those two rabbis and went back to Yemen. He wanted people to become Jews, and this is the religion for now. So people are there to refuse. They were idol worships. How can you do that? Worship fire there. They had a fire in a house that they worshipped, part of Majus. They said, what shall we do? He said, well, I will ask you, to the people who worshipped fire, what do you want to do? They said, we'll go and ask the fire what should do. What they used to do, two people who argues, they would put them next to that area and open the door. And the fire will just come out. Whoever the fire takes is the one who's wrong. Whoever survives is the one who's right. So he asked the rabbis, he said, fine, we'll accept. So they went, rabbis stood in one place, and their religious leaders stood on the other. And the rabbis started reading from the Torah, praying to Allah just to show the truth to the people. They opened the door, the fire was coming towards the fire worshippers, so they ran away. The population said, well, hang on, you're our leaders, and you say this is the true thing. How are you running away? How do you dare? He said, okay, fine, let's stand steadfast. So stood there a second time, opened the door, the fire went towards the fire worshippers and burned them. And Yemen turned into Judaism. Hence, how things progress. Then he died, and Ban As'ad died, and his son Hassan took over. Hassan was ruthless. No one liked him. He just took every possibility just to ruin the lives of his population. So people hate him. One day, even his big army generals did not like him, so they wanted to kill him, but no one dared to enter there without being checked for any weapons, except his brother. So his brother, the generals went to his brother, why don't you get rid of your brother and you rule us, but you see what he's doing to us, and he initially refused, and he accepted. Only one man called the Ru'ayn refused to do that. He said, no, don't kill your brother. You will be affected by it. Of course, he didn't listen. Everybody wanted his brother dead. One night he went, he was in search, he's his brother, and he killed his brother Hassan. As he killed him, subhanallah, he couldn't sleep, restless, tired. They got him doctors, they got him fortune tellers, everybody. He could not live a normal life. So the fortune tellers said, you will not survive this, you will die with your depression unless you kill everybody who advised you to kill your brother. The Ru'ayn, when he didn't listen to him before the death, he gave him a little envelope or letter. He said, keep this, hide it. When I ask you to get it out, get it out. So he brought everybody and killed them. Got the Ru'ayn, he said, hang on, I told you don't kill your brother. You didn't listen. Can you get out this letter I gave you? He said, why? He said, just read it. And he opened it, and there were two kind of verses of poetry written in there, which were excused to him. And he said, أَلَا مِنْ يَشْتَرِي سَهَرٌ بِنَوْمِ. Who buys, sleeplessness from being able to sleep? How can you buy that? Insomnia. سَعِيدٌ مَنْ يَبِيتُ قَرِيرَ عَيْنِ. The happy one is who can sleep, put his head on his pillow and go down in sleep, restful. فَأَمَّا حِمْيَرٌ فَغَدَرَتْ وَخَانَتْ. Himyar was their tribe. They betrayed and backstabbed. So the whole, i.e. his group. فَمَعْذِرَةُ الْإِلَهِ لِذُو رُعَيْنِ. I seek forgiveness from the gods for the ru'ayn. I told you don't. He said, yes, you are right. You were the only one who told me not to. So he forgave him. Then he died. That is the brother Amr. Then after that there was a fight who takes the rulers and leadership, and some crooks who were on the side saw all these fights and suddenly controlled the leadership. They went to the palace, took it, and that's it. Crooks now are leading Yemen. After a few years, they managed to get a coup to get rid of them, and it was one of the sons called Dhu Nuwas, one of the grandsons of the same family. And he controlled everything, killed the leaders, and while he was doing this, he met someone who is a Christian priest. Christian priests were passing by, they didn't say anything about Christianity. They came and settled there. But they were still Jews. And the Jews with time started going around sorcery and black magic. Hence, he started getting the best people to teach them how to be black magicians and to work for him. And one of these Christians who was sitting in the mountains called Fimion, he was sitting and worshipping. And of course, Dhu Nuwas sent one of his youngest chaps, someone wise and really good. He said, go and learn sorcery and come back. So he used to go up to learn it and back. On his way, he started hearing and listening to what's going on from that Christian Fimion. He started liking what he's hearing. With time, started sitting and talking to him and learning about Christianity from him. And from there, slowly he stopped going to the black magicians. After a while, they went back to Dhu Nuwas and said, this man is not coming to us anymore. So he said, okay, what's going on? So he brought him in. What's happening? What's not happening? He wouldn't tell him initially, and then he told him that, well, I'm not a Jew anymore, I'm a Christian. How did you learn this? He told him about this Fimion, so he got him and killed him. He killed that Christian person. Of course, a young chap, he said, I'm not going to change my religion, that's it, I'm Christian. He said, okay, we will see who will lead. I am the ruler of this land. He ordered his troops, take him to the highest mountain and push him down, let him die. They went to the highest mountain. As they reached the top, the mountain shook, everybody fell, and this boy was still standing. He walked down, back, and looked at him and said, what happened? He said, my God destroyed your soldiers. So he told the soldiers, okay, take him, tie him up, and throw him in the sea. They went out to the sea. As they wanted to throw him, the boat shook, everybody fell, and he got back. He couldn't kill him. He said, how can I get rid of you? I want to kill you. He said, the only way you can kill me is to gather all the population of Yemen one day, put me onto a tree, and take my arrow and say, Bismillah, the God of this boy, and then throw the arrow. This is the only way you can kill me. He said, okay, fine, get him. Got him on a tree, Bismillah, the God of this boy, threw it, he killed him. He was relieved, I killed him. But what happened? 20,000 of the population became Christians. Said he could not kill him in anywhere except by saying Bismillah, Rabbul Ghulam, the God of this. So this boy has a God different than ours, who is more powerful. And hence the story that comes in the Quran, which is Surah Al-Buruj and Ashab al-Ukhdood. He decided to dig a big trench, put oil and light it on fire, and started pushing these people one after the other into the fire. Either you come back to my religion or you die. And he pushed them and killed them and killed them. And in a hadith, it's known that one of the women had too many children. One of them was a baby, still a few months old. And when she was about to throw this baby, she couldn't. And she was afraid about to retreat, and her son spoke out and say, "O mother, steadfast you are on the true religion." She threw herself in. And then we know the story in Surah Al-Buruj. So revelation is in something that happened way before that story. I think what I'll do here, I'll stop at this task because we don't want to take it so long, inshallah. Everybody, next time I'll continue the story of Yemen that will lead us, inshallah, to Al-Fil. And this is why I'm saying Al-Yemen has a lot to answer to our history, because that's where the Arab came from. This is where Judaism spread, then Christianity, then Abraha, and so on. جزاكم الله خير. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك استغفرك ونتوب إليك. وبقولي هذا واستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم استغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.